Hey guys, and today I'm going to teach you how to make polymer clay peanut brittle. Let's begin with the materials. First, you're going to need some TLS, which is translucent liquid Sculpey. You're going to also need a small mixing bag, a razor or a knife, some kind of blade to cut with, some tin foil, aluminum foil, either or it's the same thing, and you're also going to need some tan colored clay. You'll also need some pastel chalk. We're going to need the tan and copper colors, but if you don't have those, the color you're trying to achieve is something close to caramel, so if you have a caramel color chalk, that's good too. So let's begin with our aluminum foil. You're going to fold it in half, and this is a little too big, so let's trim it down a little bit, because right now we're going to create the container for our peanut brittle. So however big you make this container is how much you're going to get. So you can either make it smaller than what I made mine if you only want to make a little bit, or bigger if you want to make a larger amount. So now just shape it into a little dish and fold the corners over so it stays shut. And this is what I have come up with. It's just like a little pan. Oops. Like a little dish. Now we're going to take our blade and our tan clay and chop off a piece and condition it. Now what you want to do is you can either cut off little pieces or just pick them off with your fingers and roll it into a little ball, because this is going to be what our peanuts are. And you're just going to roll out as many as you think you need to cover the bottom of your pan. Okay, so now we're going to take our knife and we're just going to cut a few of the ones that look too big in half, or any of them just in half, so that way it looks like we have some peanuts that have been chopped in half or broken in half. This is optional, you don't really have to do it, but I think it just adds a little bit extra so that way all of your peanuts aren't exactly circle or oval. Now we're going to take our little dish and start putting our peanuts inside along the bottom. And this is how mine looks. You can see that most of the bottom is covered with peanuts. Now we're going to take our plastic bag and our translucent liquid Sculpey, and also take our pastel chalks. The goal is to make a color that resembles caramel. So I'm going to be using tan and copper, and maybe a little bit of brown if it turns out to be too light. But you just need to mix it around and experiment till you get the color you think that looks best. I'll show you what mine looks like once I get that color. And I'm just going to be scraping mine onto some tin foil so that way it's easier for me to drop it into the bag once I get the color I think that looks most like caramel. So once you put it in the bag, you're going to add the TLS and then mix it up and see what color you get. So you want to push all the TLS into the bottom and try and mash it up with your fingers a little bit until the powder starts being blended in. So this is around the color you want to achieve. It can be a little bit lighter if you would like. And now we're just going to cut a tiny hole in the corner. And I'll show you in a second. Oh, it's dripping. Okay, so you just want to cut a tiny hole so that way you can start to squeeze it out and have control of where it's going. And you just want to cover it all over your peanuts until only a little bit of the peanut is still showing or mostly covered. And just keep squeezing your fingers down the bag and you'll eventually get all of it out. Oh man. Now you're just going to take a toothpick or the end of a paintbrush and just move it around over the TLS and fill in any little holes or gaps that are missing the TLS mixture. Then you want to just tap it on the table a few times so that way the TLS mixture will move all the way down and get rid of all the air bubbles inside. Now I have just finished baking mine according to package instructions and I'm going to remove it from the little dish we baked it in. You're just going to start peeling back the tin foil until it's removed completely from your peanut brittle. Now I'm going to take my scissors and trim any of the little edges sticking up where the peanut brittle baked on. Such as this. You can see where it's standing up and I'm just going to trim that off because we don't want that. You want to try to make your peanut brittle flat on top as much as possible. Okay, mine's good. Now what you want to do is you're going to cut your peanut brittle as best as you can in, I guess, triangle shapes and not exact shapes. It would be as if you cracked it and it would shatter. So you want to try and make it look as if it's been shattered and broken. So you want to cut it diagonally and then again in a point. So that way you make triangles and little bits that look as if they were broken or shattered. So this is how mine looks. You can see how I cut them in little shapes that look triangular and as if they were broken. I probably could have used a little bit less of the peanut brittle mixture so that way more of the peanuts showed through, but in my opinion, I think it still turned out pretty good. This is a close-up view of what my peanut brittle looks like. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, rate, and subscribe. If you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments section. Thank you.